terrified about the judges trying my baking. My husband has been my most loyal taste tester. He tastes everything, and he's been getting very good at being a critiquer for me. Ooh, that looks great. I've been baking for over 50 years. About 12 years ago, I started a blog because one of our daughters is diagnosed with celiac disease. And so it really made me have to reinvent my whole baking world. My blog has been very fulfilling creatively for me. People might be surprised to know that I'm an avid dragon boat paddler, and I absolutely love paddling together with a bunch of women and love the groundedness of being on the water. We have a trainer that's given us a very specific schedule. We have to go to a gym and we do weightlifting and all kinds of things.
Hey, Christina.
Hey, Lisa, how are you?
Oh, I'm recovering.
Yes. Are you
Not
feeling any
feeling too
better?
well.
I know you've been under the weather.
Yeah, I'm very, very tired and definitely needing some more recovery time. I've been sick for a couple of days and I'm hoping that it goes away soon, but yeah, but we truck on. We keep going.
That's all you can do. Well, I hope that you do feel better real soon.
Thank
But in
you.
spite of that, you look fresh-faced and you look great and
Thanks.
your energy level's still up there. So,
Oh,
hey.
I'm pushing myself. I'm really
Oh,
trying. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, just
Good.
lots going on, right? I can't believe it's, nearing the end of November. Holiday
Mhm.
season is fast approaching, and I just feel, I don't know, slightly overwhelmed with it all,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like just like the family commitments, the friend commitments, the
Yeah.
like just everything that's going on and trying to fit it all in. So,
Yeah. I hear you. I'm feeling
yeah.
the same way. Granted, I often have a lot of commitments and I'm just kind of getting to the point where I don't want to do anything anymore.
Yeah.
And I said to somebody the other day, how some people have like a year of yes, where they say yes to every
Mhm.
single thing
Everything.
so that they can experience more stuff. I think 2026 needs to be my year of no.
Yeah, that's fair. That's good. You know
Yes.
what? After you turn 50, I think you give yourself a little bit more license to be able to say no, right?
I'm so
And
bad at it.
and do, yeah, well, you're early in your 50s. Trust me.
Give me more
Every
time,
year, every year that passes, you're like, yeah, yeah. So,
maybe.
and then and and you make time for the things that are really important to you
Yeah.
and that you're really
Yeah.
passionate about and the people that you love and want to spend that time with and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Definitely.
think we every year you evolve. And
Yeah, that is true.
yeah,
Well, we had a lovely chat
oh,
just this morning
we did.
with Margaret, who was the second last baker to leave the tent. Words are hard.
Ah,
Why
it's
am I
okay.
talking? Words are
Pastry
hard.
week. She left during pastry week,
She left
sadly.
during pastry week.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was
So
really hard to see. We were all very upset about it when we did our recap. But Margaret graciously gave us a chance to have a little chat with her, and
oh,
wasn't that nice?
what a sweetheart.
Yes.
You knew that it was going to be a lovely conversation because I mean she was just so lovely and warm and just so friendly
Hmm.
and just a wealth of knowledge too because she's
Yes.
been baking for so long. She has her baking blog all about gluten-free bakes,
Hmm.
Kitchen Frau. If
Hmm.
anybody wants to follow her or yeah, follow her
Yeah.
on Instagram or also
Hmm.
check out her website. She does post recipes there, which is amazing, especially if you have people in your life that are gluten-free. So
Hmm.
very, very helpful resource there.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I mean, she is everything that I thought she would be and more.
Hmm. Yeah. It was a great talk, and I hope that you all enjoy listening to our chat. So without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome Margaret to the show.
Welcome, Margaret. Good morning, Margaret.
Good morning. How are
Welcome.
you?
Very well, thanks. Welcome to the Baking Scraps. We're so excited to chat with you today.
I'm excited to be here.
It's so lovely to have you. We're sad that your time in the tent came to an end so that we're talking to you now, but we're also really happy to be talking to you.
Yeah.
So what a ride, hey?
Oh my goodness, an absolute roller coaster, but a good one.
Yeah, I bet.
Awesome.
How
Yeah.
has it felt for you in this last, few weeks as, your name started coming out there, everybody knew you were going to be on the show, and then watching it air and seeing everybody's reactions?
Yeah, it's exciting, a little bit bizarre. Yeah, it was kind of quiet for a few months after we got back, and,
Yeah.
you could kind of think it was all just this dream that had happened, but, now it's real again, and yeah, the social media response from friends and family and other people has been just wonderful. A
Oh,
little overwhelming, but really, really, really heartwarming, so it's been
I can
really
imagine.
great.
Well, I think in the time you were in the tent, you left such an incredible impact. And it was so easy to fall in love with watching you just bake with so much joy and love and passion. Like everything that you made, you could just see that oozing out of everything that you made. And it really was a pleasure watching you create all of those beautiful things that you did during the show.
Well, thank you. It was a lot of fun. It really was.
A lot of fun and a lot of work, I'm sure.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. The prep for it, the practice before, I see that you're doing the bakes along with it, so you kind of get the feeling of it, and oh my goodness, it was unbelievable. My husband would, tells people now, "Oh my gosh, she baked from like 6 in the morning till 11 or 12 at night every night."
Wow.
Can
Yeah.
only imagine because you're not only like when I'm doing the bake along, I'll try something and if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, I'm like, oh well, because I don't have to have it perfect. I don't have to know that I can do it within that time limit. But you are preparing to try to fit it into that 2 hour window or 4 hour window and make sure that you get all those elements in there that you want to have in there. So yeah, you
Yeah.
have to probably do a lot more practicing than I ever have to so far.
Many, many renditions.
Yeah.
Our chickens didn't even wanna eat them anymore. There'd be whole cakes left laying in the chicken coop that they'd peck at a bit, and we had one of these yesterday. Do we need another one?
Oh, that is hilarious.
That is. So
Well,
why
I'm
don't we back up a little bit and you can
Mhm.
just tell us how you started baking in the first place?
Well, as
It's been a
long as I
while.
can remember, kind of. It's been a while, as you know. I'm the old lady in the group, so it's been a while. Decades of baking, and started very young. I'm the child of German immigrants, and we had a sugar beet farm, and my mom would take there was 5 girls in our family. I was the oldest, and I had to take the baby and stay home, by 10 years old and make meals for the family. She took the other 3 girls out to the fields, and I just thought it was fun. I was playing house. I had my little cute little baby sister, and I got to, play with her and bath her and put her down for naps, and then I'd get my mom's Fanny Farmer cookbook out and start trying out recipes, and they were often real disasters, but my mom and dad were always so supportive and just, ate whatever whatever it was, however bad it was, and so that started a
Oh,
real excitement and love of playing around, and yeah,
you have to start somewhere.
right.
you
And what a
do.
great opportunity to do that. Like just be like, okay, this is your role within our family and just run with it. And I'm sure they were just happy to have something that was made with, by their daughter and with love and excitement.
Kind
And
of
so
edible.
I think, is there any of us who have not been there, done that, right? And especially as a child, it's about that experimentation and being fearless in the kitchen and trying different things. And I think that you had that opportunity at an early age was wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, it was, I think nowadays it's just a different time, and even with our kids, I mean, at that age, they just weren't doing that, but there was no other
Mhm.
choice. You had to, and you didn't think about it, and you just kinda had to grow up a little faster.
That's fair. I think
Yeah.
that's totally fair. Yeah, everybody had their role within their families. So
That's right, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, times have changed so much, right? So with your family, tell us a little bit about your your family that you created.
Well, 4
That
kids.
sounds weird, but as opposed to your family of origin.
Yeah, 4 kids, and they're all grown up and have flown the nest and are living around the world in different places, and, but growing up, they all had to learn how to do the basics in the kitchen.
Mhm.
And I think they all are amazing cooks. They're all really good at it, and they've all got a love for it. So that's really great. Yeah, yeah. It was just a part of our life. Um, they had to take turns and help out and cook. And my husband grew up in a very traditional farm family, and he didn't cook and still doesn't really cook. I've taught him a few basic things, but he was just happy to eat anything, and he's not very critical. I've had to try and teach him through this process to be a little more critical, because no matter what
He
it
likes
was, oh,
everything.
it's great. He loves it all. So I've said, okay, now tell me, like, I know it's a little bit burnt. So what do you think of the texture? Does it need more of this? So he's getting better at that.
I mean, it's great to be appreciated.
Yes,
It is.
so true. So what did he do while you were away in the tent?
He was
Yeah,
invited
what
out
do
to
you-
friends' houses. I prepared meals in the freezer. He did fry eggs and make toast and a few things like that. So
I was going to ask you that if you actually prepared meals, because that's just added to everything else that you're prepping on.
yeah,
You have to prepare for potentially being away for 6 weeks-ish and
right.
making sure that he's got stuff to eat. That's a lot of work on top of all your other prep work.
Well, whatever I cooked, I just made bigger batches of it and would,
Perfect.
That's fair.
make one and freeze the other half. So
Yeah,
Oh,
very, very
yeah,
smart. Work smarter, not harder, right?
that's right. It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you had a history of baking and creating different things. What led you to apply for Great Canadian Baking Show?
Well, I mean, it's just you get to you get to a certain age and you start to think, if I don't start doing some of those things that I want to do, if not now, when? And it
right.
was, it's always been kind of a bit of a curiosity of my own to see whether I could handle the pressure of something like that. I am a very bad procrastinator. That's my main method of operation. Going to university, I was that type that, started papers the night before they were due and stayed up all night and
Mhm.
handed them in the morning and skipped
Mhm.
classes and slept that day and get the paper back a few weeks later. And you think, wow, I wrote that. I can't remember that. But I've always been like that. And it seems like the more pressure, the more clear my mind gets and the more I get things done. And I've often watched all these shows and thought, I wonder if I could do that. And so I just decided to apply.
And how many times did you end up applying?
So this was my third attempt to apply. And my first year, I went to a walk-in audition here in Edmonton, and it was hundreds of people, and I didn't get anywhere with that. And so then the next year, they didn't have an audition in Edmonton, and so I
Mhm.
applied online. And of course, my procrastinating nature, I left it to the last day of application, thinking, okay, as long as I get it in at the deadline. And I put it in, and I got an interview, and they had said that they liked what they saw, but they'd basically chosen their team already. So could I, they would send me a letter to remind me to apply next year because they were interested. So I did. And yeah, I got I got an audition and went through that lengthy process and
Mhm.
did the online bake along and all the Zoom calls and things, and got on. And I was so shocked because I honestly never really thought that it would happen. Just because of my age, and I just didn't feel like I would fit in there, but they chose me, and I was so excited and
Mhm.
started the whole whirlwind.
Yeah, it must have been exciting, but also terrifying at the same time because all of a sudden you're like, oh, now I have to do this.
Absolutely. So, uh-oh. There's a whole lot of cursing going on. Now, what do I do now? Now I really have to do it. So, yeah.
So how did it feel when you got the briefs for however many weeks they gave you briefs for it when you were looking through them? Were you immediately picturing what you were going to do for certain bakes? Were there ones you were looking more forward to than others?
Yeah. My brain immediately started spinning,
Hmm.
and I was laying awake at night, and that whole process, and constantly I seemed to think about food a lot in my sleep, or as I'm falling asleep, the recipes come to me. So it was, yeah, it was that kind of process. It was just this absolutely immersive, overwhelming thing. It just, that's all I ate, lived, breathed, slept, walked, shut
Yeah.
down all our social life, and just said no to everything. And I just started, attacking it. So it was exciting
Gears
though.
down. Yeah, geared down and got her done. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, amazing. Now, you also have a website, and you do a lot of gluten-free recipes as well. So you've already had a lot of experience, creating your own recipes, doing those transition to the gluten-free. Did you find that helpful? Like that you could go back to some of your other your original recipes that you already had a beautiful library of? Or was it a bit more difficult to narrow things down because I don't recall that you did a lot of gluten-free
Mhm.
recipes on the show. So did you go back and change all the ones that you had, or?
I think I only used one recipe. It was the donuts.
Donuts,
I've
yeah.
made those, multiple times in the past for my family. And, then I had to add all the other decorative elements and things. But, yeah, one cake that I've made a lot, the very first one, the little poppy seed one, is one that I developed a recipe here at home. I have never put it on the blog, but it's my husband's favorite cake. And so I kind of used a version of that. But of course, at home, I might just, plop a glaze on top. I don't, make all the fillings, and I don't decorate it. And so it was a lot of that kind of stuff that I had to practice. But the other recipes were all ones that, I just worked on and developed throughout the process for the show. And
Wow.
not like, I mean, I baked with regular flour up until about, till I started the blog. And then our daughter had been diagnosed with celiac disease. So I'd spent, years baking with regular flour, but then the whole process of learning to bake gluten-free was a long, slow one with a lot of chicken feet in there. And
Hopefully
I,
not literal chicken feet.
No,
chicken
chicken
feed,
feed.
Oh,
feeding
chicken
the
feed.
chickens.
I heard
I was
chicken
like,
feet.
Chicken feet,
And
yeah.
I'm like,
I did grow up
that's
eating
a
those.
that's a weird gluten-free website you found there that's telling you to grind up chicken feet.
maybe I
Now
should
that might
divulge it,
work. Think about it. The gelatinousness
right?
It could. Yeah.
could be a
A
whole
sub
new
for
thing.
Igor
The
Igor.
new binder. Yes.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gluten-free baking is no joke. It's
Oh,
it's a lot of work trying to make those, taste and have the texture of regular glutinous,
yeah.
bakes. And so did you, what, I mean, just because my own curiosity, because I do a lot of gluten-free baking as well.
Okay.
Who did you follow, and did you learn from any of the other websites or anything, or did you just do your own research?
In the beginning, I followed other websites and read books and like whatever I could get my hands on. My mother-in-law, in my husband's family, celiac disease is fairly rampant in a
Mm.
large family. So I'd, been watching her for years, and big family gatherings. It was always the gluten-free pies and cakes, and then the regular ones. And she always still baked lots of regular ones, but the gluten-free ones were terrible. I mean, they were good that they had them, but those early gluten-free products, the flours were so crumbly and dry, and it's come so far now. And I just worked at it and worked at it, and then I developed a gluten-free flour that I'm really happy with, that I use all the time. And it started from another flour recipe, and I just tweaked and tweaked until it was right. And so yeah, it's been an exciting process, because I never thought of myself as a baker. I always felt more of a cook. I loved cooking. That was really my thing. I did bake because I had to with a large family, and it was basics, cookies and muffins and birthday cakes,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
And not the fancy birthday cakes that everybody else makes. Those are so stunning. And for me, it was just normal cakes. But then once I really learned the science of gluten-free cooking or gluten-free baking, that's where it started to get to be fun, because I understood it, and then I could start to play with it. And then a love of baking slowly came through that, understanding the process and being able to experiment with it on my
Yeah,
own.
it's amazing how it's such a science. And once you understand the science, it just opens up this whole new world. And then you can turn it into an art, you
So
know?
true. So
Yeah.
true.
I just love that. I think it was Rafikat who first said that to us when we were
Okay.
interviewing her. And I thought that was just, it struck me because I've always thought of myself as an artsy person. And then when I realized how much I loved the science of baking, then I realized how well those two worlds actually merge and mesh.
Absolutely. You're so right. Yes, yes. Because yeah, I always call it baking a science and, cooking an art because you can adjust as you go. And,
Right.
you know, baking is like, oh, you do everything, you put it in and you hope for the best. But now I can tweak. So it's getting to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite thing that you love to bake for your family besides that poppy seed for your husband?
Uh, I love baking, well, desserts and things. I've really started learning loving bread because I can bake regular again now that the kids are gone from home.
Right.
I can eat regular foods. My husband had Lyme disease, and so for a few years he had a lot of dietary restrictions. That's where I really learned to bake because not only, did I have to bake gluten-free, egg-free, dairy-free, all of that came with it, and that was really complicated. And
Mhm.
it was just starting from like right from the ground up. And that was for 2 full years. He couldn't have 44 different foods and gluten, dairy, eggs. It was all included in there, plus many, many others. And that's where it really changed. And then slowly he could have things. I still bake gluten-free fairly, like kind of half and half at home because of his family history. I just like to keep it down a little
Mm.
for him. But generally for the two of us, or if we go out, he can eat normal foods. So then I had lots of fun just starting to play with bread because gluten-free bread was something I never really conquered. I have a few buns and things I can make, but now that I can bake with regular flour again, I've had a lot of fun with learning how to bake bread and enjoy that. And of course, during COVID, I did this sourdough like
Sourdough.
he does.
Just gonna ask.
Yeah, it was a gluten-free sourdough I had going then that I'd started up and was using and trying things with. But yeah, so it's been the bread has been fun. I'm still just kind of a novice at it. I'm just learning. Surprisingly, which is just it was so kind of devastating to go out on the pastry week because I really do enjoy baking pies and pastry and things like that. So that was
Hmm.
kind of yeah, that's kind of one of the things I enjoy a fair bit. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if you saw or heard our scrap recap where we were talking about on the week that you went home. Um, that it was just sad to see some of the foreshadowing throughout the episode, when you were like, I've been doing this for 40 years and I was like, oh no, not Margaret.
Don't say that. Don't say that. And then, of course, for a couple of the weeks, there was the Star Baker curse, right?
Oh my
Dominic,
God.
who went home after being Star Baker, and then you went home after being Star Baker the week before.
Yeah.
We
We
were,
were Yeah, we were crushed. We had just been talking, and not to say that your baking, your level of skill changed or anything like that. I mean, this is a really tough season. There is such a high level of skill in that tent.
Yeah.
Um, but Christina had been like, I think Margaret, I think that she's a dark horse that's coming up from behind. And I said, I think we've been underestimating her in the beginning. And so we were just beginning to really see you shine. And we were recognizing, because in the beginning, there's so many bakers,
Yeah.
and you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, wow, oh, wow, oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's like, oh, shiny thing,
And then,
shiny
and then
thing.
we were like, look at Margaret. Like,
Yeah.
she's amazing. She knows what she's doing. She's
Yes.
so skilled and talented, and her stuff is so beautiful. And then you got Star Baker, and we were so excited. And then
So
the
bad.
next week we were crying.
Yeah.
Well, it was so bizarre because the night before, um, and I've made this pie. I made it like 5 or 6 times during my practice, and I've eaten it for decades because it's my husband's favorite pie that his mother always baked.
Mhm.
And so I adapted her recipe. I made it less sweet and added more lemon to it. And I made it like 2/3 as big because she always did this great big pie pan. And then, of course, I added all the decorations on top. And it just turned out every time. It was no problem. It was like the thickness or the setting of the pie was never, ever a problem. And then, the night before, and we're up at 4:30 in the morning during the filming, and back to the hotel room 8 or 9 at night. Then we'd usually do another bake or two in the hotel room before bed, and I'd fall into bed at 11 or 12 at night. And I had been on YouTube at 11 o'clock at night, and I had par baked the crust too, which I never did, or which his mother never did, but which I did during my practices so that I could add the topping. And I found on YouTube, I just thought, I'm just going to check up one more time, how to guarantee a not soggy bottom crust. That was my big worry. And it had never been soggy at home. I don't know why I was obsessed with it because it hadn't been. So I looked up and it said, slide a baking tin under your pie. Never once did that in all my practices. Got into the tent, made my pie, had it in my hands, was going to slide it in the oven. And then that thing I read last night at 11 as I was falling asleep said to put a baking tin under. I've never done that at home, but I put a baking tin under and slid it in the oven. And of course, it was an aluminum shiny baking tin, which all it did was reflect the heat off the bottom. It was this stupid last minute decision. Don't know why I did it. And that just started the downhill spiral. It just seemed like then, everything. And then on top of it, all three of my bakes were underbaked, and it never hit me till after. Those ovens, everyone has their own personality, and I think my oven was an underbaking oven, and so I should have been on top of it and checking my temperatures and adjusting. But of course, I just slid it in, and then you get busy doing all the other things while it's baking, and I didn't stay on top of my oven to really be sure that it was, because with all three being underbaked, didn't make sense. I put my Lenza in the technical at the same time everybody else did, and mine came out underbaked and theirs was baked. So I think.
And have you seen this past episode, the one that just aired for
Yeah,
Fairy Tale Week?
with Jennifer.
I wonder if Jen got that oven
I don't know.
because she had three
Yeah.
underbaked.
Mine were underbaked too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think was she in that first on the first station on the right hand side?
She was on the right, yeah, and I was on the left because they don't change the ovens. I was, I think, in the middle of, but there might be more than one oven that has
that has that issue.
Crazy
But
person.
of course, once you kind of falter, for lack of a better word, then you start overthinking again, and then everything just becomes.
Like I said, I just bombed spectacularly. I didn't make it difficult for the judges. It was an easy decision. They needed a break. They had to be able to say, okay, this one's an easy.
That was very kind of you, Margaret, for doing that.
Margaret, I think
for them.
I think it's so. I think in spite of the underbaked, everything else, all the elements, all the flavors, all the decor were just so beautiful and spot on. And it's unfortunate that underbaking, that dang oven, maybe, was the cause, because that lemon pie that you did, I think I even said that during the recap, like, just pass me the spoon. I'm just going to eat the whole thing. It just sounded so luscious. And
she did. She basically said she would drink it. She didn't need it to be.
I would. Pie. So, so it's just unfortunate that, that a little bit, and it probably wasn't a lot, right? Even if you had known the oven was a little cooler.
I should have just been on top of that more. And, that intellectually, but you get in there and all intellectual thought goes out of your head.
Well, and you're tired.
Well, and also there's so many components too. Like you said, you're not just doing the pie, you're doing all of the decor that goes on top of it and making sure and you're limited time too, right? So you've got to cool things off as quickly as possible. You're running around like like a chicken with their head cut
Yes.
off.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Like at home, you just say, oh, it needs 10 more minutes and just do it and no problem,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
yeah,
But sometimes you don't have those 10 extra minutes in the tent.
no, you do
More
not.
often than not, you probably don't.
No, that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Even when
painful.
you can do it in time at home, it just seems like, somehow in the tent, I always said it's like this do time warp zone. You go in there, everything changes. It's like an alternate universe in there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's the same. I'm a labor and delivery nurse, and I always just say time it is non-existent in this room, right? Because when you're
Yes.
in labor, everything is it goes either really fast or really, really slow. And
Yeah.
yeah, I imagine it's the same type of thing in the tent. It's just you're so focused on what you're doing, and there's so much else going on all around you, and you kind of have to tune it out as much as you possibly can. But being aware, oh, I have to talk to this camera right now, and oh, I have to make sure that this timer is going off and this is coming out of the oven while I'm stirring this pot, you know, and it just warps your sense of time. Yeah.
Yes. And your babies get birthed a little too early.
That definitely can happen.
Aw.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
how was that adjusting to uh, baking in a set in a tent with all the different weather conditions in a totally different environment than you were normally used to,
Oh, and
obviously.
expecting it to be really hot and then having it be the coldest tent
Cold.
day
Yeah.
ever.
Freezing cold. Oh my God. Some of them bakes. And then there was some hot days too. One of the first bakes. I mean, they were running around clipping fans onto our cupboard doors and aiming them up at our faces to try and help cool us off. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, and then and I think like for me, a big thing that I never really thought about ahead, and it was probably the problem for Cavi and I, because we come from the prairies, is the humidity. I'm used to baking in like bone dry temperature or air conditions and altitude of fairly high, like 2,300 feet high, and down there it's closer to sea level.
Yeah.
And like for the day of the mask, and it was a rainy day, I had made that mask several times at home, and it was standing upright on a stand, like on a book stand, and it was still standing when I got home. I talked to my husband, and when I got in the tent, it was so soft. I baked it like twice as long, put it back in, and it was just the cookie was soft. And at home, it was immediately crisp and hard, and I could hold that mask up and move it around and there it just fell apart. I mean, there was a big laughter, a big scene in the tent where this crazy chuckles because they're coming over. I can't get my, and they said, so Margaret, what are you going to say to your mask when you put him back in the oven, your cookie man? And I said, I need him to get hard. Well, I didn't think about it. They just cracked up. That was the biggest problem. He
It's
did
just
not.
staying soft.
He needed a little blue pill.
He did, and it didn't work for him. Luckily, it broke at the mouth, but like it just no matter what, and it was the humidity. It was like storming and raining that day, so
Yeah.
it was it's something I'd not dealt with at home. I've never
Yeah.
had that problem with cookies.
Yeah. It must be impossible to prepare for all the different potentialities in the tent.
Yeah, yeah, but
Oh.
it's a good challenge.
And you were
Totally.
definitely up to the challenge, and you had
Yes.
wondered if you would be. And
Yeah,
look at what you did.
yeah, it was pretty exciting. I was
Yeah,
I was proud of myself, and
you
I
should
hope
be.
it gave other, older women a little bit of inspiration. It doesn't matter how old you are, you can still tackle something new and try it. And
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, it's not about age, right? It's just about your will, your focus, your passions, and just going for it. If you can do it physically, mentally, just go for it.
give it a try. Yeah, yeah. And even if you can't, at least you've tried, and that's the important thing. So,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
was just the whole experience was so amazing. It's amazing, an amazing group of people. And like I just said, I've learned so much that like I'm so thrilled. I love learning new things. I learned so much in three different ways. I learned it in the practicing before, just learned, like, creative new ideas and got my brain just going. And then I learned so much from the other bakers. It was,
Hmm.
because you're sitting for hours and hours a day. There's a lot of waiting around in between, and we had no phones with us. And so you just talk. And it was so cool. And everybody was just sharing ideas. We were always brainstorming, like, the next bake. So I'm having trouble. I'm not quite sure what I want to do here or there. And like, oh, why don't you try this? Or I have a great recipe for this. Or, we were helping each other and giving each other ideas of how we could make our bakes better. And then I learned an awful lot also from the judges' comments. It was
Oh,
really
yeah.
interesting, when you're standing there and listening, and they're saying, "Oh, look, this baker, it looks like he overbeat his dough because there's tunneling in it," or and I'm thinking, "Oh, I never realized that came from overbeating," or, "Oh, we can tell this baker didn't rub their zest into their sugar," or, "Oh, okay, I'm always going to rub my zest into my sugar." And there was lots of comments. They're very knowledgeable,
They
and
are.
whatever they said about the bakes, it always clicked. Yes, that's true. And we would talk about it later. And yeah, I didn't do that, or yeah, they figured it out just from tasting. So it
They're
was really
Wow.
such a
cool.
good team too. It's
Oh
been
my goodness.
so lovely to have Bruno and Kyla together over however many seasons it's been now. What,
Yeah,
6 seasons? I think
yeah,
they've
something.
done together.
Yeah. Yeah.
6, 7?
6, 7,
Quite a
7,
few.
She started in season 3,
3. So
I
this is
think. So 7 seasons.
seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, they're such a great team.
Mhm.
The
And
chemistry between all four of them is amazing.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
it really
yeah.
is.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Oh.
Well, it seems like you are quite essential to your husband. So I'm wondering, everybody knows that you're there and kind of anchoring the home. So what happened? What did you tell people when you were going away for that length of time?
I told them I was on a cooking course because
Oh,
they know that I have a food blog. So I said, "Oh, I'm on and I just was quite vague about it, and how long it was. And no, people didn't specifically ask, so I just said I wasn't totally sure, but I'm going on this cooking course. So, and they believed me, so that was
very
great.
Great.
smart. Yes.
Nobody had any
Kind
suspicions.
of. Yeah, yeah, it was to do with cooking. They didn't
It
question.
was, and you did learn a lot.
I did learn, so I was on a cooking
Yeah.
course.
So really not even a fib. It was like,
No,
yeah.
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 Yeah, it worked. And yeah, and because we kind of had been making excuses, like turning down all our social engagements before, like, people hadn't seen me, they weren't sure how long it's been a while since we've seen them, and they
Yeah.
knew I was doing something but didn't really know what, and yeah, just assumed it was something to do with that.
Yeah.
Oh, it must have been
Oh,
so fun when your name was announced then.
Yeah, that was exciting. I could finally tell people. And it's like, well, we knew something was up. They were all saying, we knew there was something weird going on. We just couldn't figure it out. So
well, must have
yeah.
been so much excitement around
Yeah,
your village of people.
a
So
lot.
yeah,
Yes, it was really exciting.
friends.
And I've had so much support. I mean, people that I haven't talked to in decades, like old high school friends, have contacted me, and relatives, distant relatives I haven't seen, and even strangers. Like, it's been just the biggest gift is the support and the warmth from everybody. And oh, I mean, it's just been amazing. And I'm on two dragon boat paddling teams, and the support I've got from them is just so wonderful. And all the close friends and
Yeah.
relatives, and yeah, it's just been amazing. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. And of course, you have a brand new baking family from the other
Yes.
on season 9, and then an extended Great Canadian Baking Show family that are ready to embrace you
Yeah.
into their world as well. So yeah.
Yeah, just starting to get connected with a few of them, and yeah, it's been really good. And our baking family, it's just amazing. I mean, we've got our own little WhatsApp group. I know there's a bigger group with the rest of the bakers, but it's and of course I'm the old lady. Even though I have a food blog, I only know the technology for that specific little corner of tech, and I am so bad at phone and all that kind of. I don't know how to do the little video things, and every morning I wake up and there's like 70 or 80 messages on my phone, and I'm always the last one behind and keeping track with, keeping touch. But it's
Oh,
so wonderful. And
well, I'm sorry we hassled you with messages.
Yes.
oh, Oh, no, that's okay. I'm better on the computer than I am on the phone. I'm on my computer more. But
Perfect.
we've even been doing our own little baking challenges. And but like every 2 months, a different person hosts, and we all, do the bake, and we get the criteria. I think we're just missing the tent, because the person in charge has to, put out the brief, and we have to submit photos and a little blurb about our baking. We were going to judge it at first, but then we realized you can't really judge it without tasting it. So
Tasting, yeah,
we just got to
exactly.
compare. But yeah, and it's so bizarre. And everybody in our group, like, you get home, you think, okay, I need a break from baking. It's the opposite. You just can't wait to bake. I don't understand it. It's like I want to just bake creatively free in my kitchen now and try all these things we've been talking about. So it's been exciting. Yeah.
That's
What was your
fantastic.
favorite of the technicals that you did?
The technicals. Huh. Well,
Sorry,
I
I'm
did win one technical challenge. So that was because I was thinking my favorite bake was my cookie mask by far. That was just
Incredible.
fun. He just came to me laying in bed at night, and I had to get up and sketch how I wanted him to look. And, so, and that was the technical, was it the cookie beat? Oh,
No, that's a showstopper.
that was the showstopper. Yeah.
The mask, yeah.
But I'm thinking of the technical, that did I win it that week?
Oh, that
The Prindulata, I think, is the one you won. The Prindulata.
Yes, and that was
Carnival week.
Carnival. It was
So
Carnival.
that was,
Yes.
yeah.
that
Oh,
was
okay. So same week. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to figure that. I couldn't even remember. I came home and I couldn't remember the name of one single technical.
Well, they all had different names, and not German names.
No. And it wasn't until each one came up, then it came back to me, kind of. But yeah, it's a big blur.
Well, it must have been a bit of a blur.
Yeah. I did say before I went that I thought the technicals would be my favorite, but I don't know. And I think Ryan was the one that said that they were his favorite or became his favorite. And with me, it was, afterwards I thought, oh, I don't know if they were my favorite as I thought they would be.
Yeah.
They were so much more complex.
Yeah.
That's totally fair. Now, of any of the technicals, did you know any of the things that you were about to bake? Had you
No,
heard of any of them? No.
I had heard of Dubai chocolate just a few weeks before coming on. That was the first I'd heard about this viral chocolate, but I never had heard of the cookies made with that or anything. So that was the closest of anything that I had ever heard of. So yeah,
Those
and I'm glad I
cookies
was.
were
They were massive cookies.
Oh my gosh, yes. I have actually, I had, when I came home since then, I've been working on my own recipe, and I see they put the recipe up now too. And so I was working on a gluten-free version of my own already before that. And they're really a hit. They're really, really good.
Yeah.
But of course, I only made them like a quarter the size. Like,
yeah.
those were one family-sized cookie each
I
one.
know. Right? You could probably feed a family of 4 with one cookie.
Absolutely.
I think they were 260 grams.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like over a half pound.
Yeah, they're huge. It was like a big handful of dough. And and that of course made them so soft, like made them very difficult to even get, onto the tray, because they were so big, and cookies need to set, that type of cookie. So yeah.
And you didn't have enough time for them to set.
Not at all. Slide that warm, falling apart, which was the same thing on my lens. I didn't get it off the bottom sheet. And I think that's, besides being underdone, and I had not seen that I had this cake lifter. I see later, I saw that we all had a cake lifter in our supply, in the cupboard, but I had not seen that. So I didn't know I had it. And I had no idea how I was going to get it off there in the 30 seconds that were left or whatever I had. So
yeah,
left it on.
You just have to get it on the plate, I guess, right?
Yeah, it was that.
That's the most important thing. They need to have something to taste.
Yeah. I didn't want to have it break. And so, anyways, yeah, there's always the woulda, coulda, shouldas.
Always.
Of course. But you know what? In spite of all of that, like the technicals, I mean, we speak about this quite often on our recaps or otherwise, when we're interviewing, bakers, but it's always amazing at how everybody presents something that does look very similar to what the final product should look like. And I'm always in awe of that, because personally, I'm a bit of a visual learner too, so I kind of like to see what the finished product usually is supposed to look like, and then I've got a guide. But when you don't have that, like
Yeah.
you just have to trust your instinct, or like really carefully read all the instructions and try to understand what they're wanting out of you.
Yeah.
That's
And
challenging.
there's no time to carefully read the
Well,
instructions.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Not
Yeah.
at all. It's, you tell yourself you're going to, and then, and then you start hearing everybody else bringing pans and things out. And so then you're kind of going through really quickly because you're always told, make sure you read through them all at first before you start baking. But you just don't, because you think, okay, I'll get the first thing going and then I'll keep reading. And and not having an idea. And they're very good at finding obscure bakes from countries that we've never heard of or seen before.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, but
Yeah.
all very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there one of the, yeah, I think Lisa already asked you, but was there anything that stood out in your mind of the technicals that was really like incredible, like from a flavor perspective that you would bake again?
Well, for sure the Dubai chocolate cookies, which I
Yeah.
had been working on. But the thing is, we don't get to taste the finished products either, right? So
Oh,
sometimes the odd bakes, we would get some, not usually the technical. Well, maybe once or twice we got some bakes. We'd get a tray at the end of the day that they've brought, and you've got a little chunk or a scoop of each one, and sometimes you don't know whose or like they're not labeled, and we're trying to guess whose if it's a showstopper, then we would know, but if it's a technical, we really don't know. So I
right.
don't know if we never got to taste the cookies. I never got to taste the prinolata. Did we get to taste any of the others? I don't
I
remember.
highly recommend the bolo de Sonora.
Yes, that
That
was
one, yes,
delicious.
I've made that one for the watch party for
Oh,
our first
perfect.
one. Yeah, but I hadn't tasted it. Had we tasted those there? I don't think so. But that is definitely one I would make again.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Not
that
with the
was
chocolate
so good.
kernels, but
Yeah,
yeah,
perhaps. Yeah, exactly. Not with the candied or the candied carrots
yeah.
and the yeah,
It's okay
Let's not
without it.
peppered
faff
chocolate
around with all
swirls.
that stuff. But that chocolate glaze on its own is pretty amazing.
It's pretty decadent. It's really
Yeah.
a good one. Yes.
And the carrot
Definitely.
cake itself was so lovely too,
Mhm.
with the orange in there, and
Mhm.
yeah, and putting it all into a blender.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
Just
was it
genius.
was
Was really,
easy.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, my blender was not up to the task. I had to go back and forth between a food
Oh,
processor and a blender, and I was just like, ah.
oh.
Maybe I
So do
should
you
get a
have
Vitamix like
yeah,
Vincent
or
says.
do you have the hand blenders?
I have an immersion blender, but that
Immersion
didn't
blender. It didn't work either.
with raw carrots.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
you'd have
it,
to
Vitamix
probably
just
chop them
turns.
up a fair bit.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mm,
probably. I mean, the Vitamix just turns it into a beautiful smooth
yeah.
puree.
right?
It's
Yeah,
Oh, see, you have a Vitamix.
I do, yeah,
Yeah.
and I
Worth
use it
the
all.
yeah.
investment.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, and I still had it when my kids were home, so it was like used almost daily. Yeah. So
Wow,
it
Oh,
that's
was.
amazing. Yeah,
They say
Vincent.
you could put a piece of 2x4 in there and turn it to sawdust, and I believe them.
Wow. Wow.
all right.
So,
Well, yeah, there's another endorsement for a Vitamix.
yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vincent and Stephen both have been chatting about the how amazing the
How
Vitamix are.
important it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're a worthwhile investment.
Yeah.
And I've had mine for like, I don't know, 15 or 20 years, I think, and it's still just works like when it was new.
Mhm.
So
That's amazing.
yeah.
All right. Well, what do you say we play a little game of this or that?
Okay.
We like to play this or that around here. Very, very simple, very straightforward. We just take turns
Okay.
asking you a question, this or that, and you say the first thing that comes to your mind. Sometimes we talk more about things, and sometimes there's nothing really more to say. So,
Okay.
yeah. So let's start off easy. Coffee or tea?
Okay. I love coffee, but I can't tolerate a lot of it because I just get the shakes. So I drink a lot of herbal tea,
Mhm.
but I love the taste of coffee better. I just have to really restrict myself. And I have a Saturday morning latte. I teach a German kindergarten class on Saturday mornings, and so my husband always surprises me with a latte that he buys the night before. He hides it in the fridge. He thinks he's hiding it. I always see it.
Oh,
Oh,
so sweet.
For me. So
Oh.
yeah.
it's really sweet.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just going to say, Lisa, you do
Mhm.
realize Margaret's from Alberta, and we
Yes.
have a habit of Alberta bakers, with this or that, doing a Larry. So I think
Oh,
Margaret is,
What's a Larry?
oh,
Larry,
Larry
Larry Harris from
Harris.
season 4.
Yes.
We did a this or that with him, and he basically just said both to pretty much every
Pretty
single
much every
question.
single question.
So
Oh,
when
okay.
somebody says, "Oh, I can't decide," or "I like both," then we're like, "Oh, you're pulling a Larry."
We're calling Larry, and we find that Rita as well from last
Last
season,
year.
season
Yeah.
8, also did a lot of that. Oh, can't really decide. So we think it's an Albertan thing that
That's wishy-washy prairie people.
just
I'm I'm
happy-go-lucky
from
and
Alberta.
love it all, right? And love it all. I think that's what we
No,
do.
I
Why
don't know if
choose?
it's not
Why
geographic.
choose?
Did you say you're from Alberta too, Lisa?
Well, since I was 5, I grew up in Sherwood Park until
Oh,
I was 12. Well, grew up. But
yeah.
yeah, and we moved to Victoria after that. But yeah, Sherwood Park, my sister grew up in Camrose. She's my half sister. And now
Ah,
she lives in Red Deer. All her family lives in Red Deer. I've got
ah,
family in Edmonton, so I love to go back every once in a while and see everybody.
yeah. Oh, nice. So you are a
Yeah.
prairie girl too.
I am. I am. And I lived in Three Hills for a while with my first husband and our family when they were very young because he went to
Oh,
Bible
wow.
college there. So that was an adventure for
Oh,
about 4 years.
oh, wow. Yes.
Yes. But yeah, I have a soft spot in my heart for Alberta.
Oh, nice.
But don't ask me Alberta or British Columbia because I can't answer
Well,
that.
I'm the
Oh,
opposite. I was
see?
born in British Columbia. I was born
Oh,
in New Westminster and
oh,
lived in Chilliwack and lived in Aldergrove during different times in my childhood and moved to
Oh,
Alberta then as when I was 10 and ever since in Alberta. So we're just
yeah,
the
we're
inverse of
opposites.
each other. Yeah.
lovely. And I
That's
actually
awesome.
lived a fair, like when my son was growing up, actually he was born in Langley, and then we moved out to Abbotsford. So we lived out in Abbotsford up until about 5 years ago before moving to
Oh,
White Rock. So yeah,
oh,
so,
I
so
still have
crazy.
an aunt and two separate families of cousins and relatives that live in Aldergrove. And
Yeah,
yeah, my sister was born in Abbotsford. I have lots of family in the lower mainland,
yeah.
aunts and
Awesome.
uncles and
Oh,
cousins.
well, you'll
Yeah.
have to let us know if you ever make your way out here, because if you have time for coffee or
Or
go to
tea.
Bakery stop somewhere
or
or
both,
tea.
coffee and tea.
Sure. Two fisting it.
Both, exactly, exactly.
Oh, thank you.
Best
And
of
Sounds
both.
like a
likewise,
good
if you
plan.
guys are out here ever, I would love to have you
Wonderful.
out for a visit and
Um,
coffee or tea or
Would
maybe
love
some
that.
baking. That would
yes,
be very
some
cool.
baking together. That would be
That would be really
fabulous.
fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
That would be great.
cool.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Well, we'll
All
we'll
right.
make a date.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to the next one. Sweet or savory bakes?
Ah, maybe savory. I
Very.
do. Yeah, I want
Christina,
to pull
leave
a
her
Larry. I
alone.
do. The Alberta part of me wants to pull a Larry. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I said savory, but then I'm thinking, but I do more sweet bakes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I do a lot more. I'll make quiches and some savory pies and things, and yeah, I guess I'd have to say sweets because that's what I do mostly and what I can be a little bit more creative with, but I like the taste of savory bakes and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I'm with you there. I don't eat a lot of sweet, but I do like to bake sweet stuff, but I love to eat the savory.
Eat a
Like,
Yeah.
savory. Yep.
Yeah, there's something so great about that. Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Like the whole bread week, that was fun, to do the big muffaletta,
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
baby bake like that. And
Bread
yeah,
week was wonderful. Oh,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad they brought Bread Week back.
Had
so
they
glad.
taken it away, or they'd done without it for a bit?
Well,
Last
last season
season
they
they
didn't
didn't
have
have a bread
one.
week. Yeah, because
Oh,
we were gonna have Larry co-host bread week with us because Larry's the bread master. And
I got
so
to taste a taste of his bread because Dan came out to visit and he and I
Yes.
baked together and he had visited Larry and got a loaf of bread from Larry and brought it out to our place and I'd made a pot of soup and so we had Larry's
Oh,
bread and soup together here.
so wonderful.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had asked him if he would co-host a bread week with us last season, and then it just never came. There
Never
was never a
happened.
bread week. So,
Oh,
but he
oh,
joined in at the end, helped us out on was it the finale that he
The finale, because they
last?
had the
Yeah.
bread showstopper for
Yeah.
the finale last year for season 8. And then of course he co-hosted this year with during Bread Week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
for the recap. Yeah. Yeah. Good
You know, it's
people,
funny what
Larry.
you say about the watching the seasons. I have watched all the seasons like in the past when they happened, or sometimes I could catch them later online. And then once I knew I was on the show, I thought, okay, for homework, I'm going to start at season 1 and watch them all through all the way again, and really get myself immersed in it. I kind of watched, I don't know, 15 minutes or half of the first season of the first. I couldn't watch it anymore. It was so intimidating, and I just thought, I can't do that. I can't bake like that. This is psyching me out. And I told my husband, I can't watch any of this. And then I tried a few different episodes in later shows. I couldn't watch them.
Oh,
And then over the summer, I got back and I was really busy with dragon boating, and I haven't had time. And I said to him, now that our show has aired, now I'm going to go back and watch all 8 seasons
it'll be
Yes.
much more
again.
enjoyable, probably.
Yes.
If you could relax and just take it all in rather than stressing out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I did not expect it to do that to me, but I just got anxious watching them.
Yeah, that imposter syndrome kicks in,
Oh
right?
my gosh. Yes. Because I just thought these guys are way better than me. I don't belong there. I can't do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
that must be very
absolutely
intimidating.
did belong, and you slayed it as well. So
Mhm.
you should be so proud
Oh,
of
thank you.
of your whole run there. Yeah.
Until it was over, until I didn't, until it just,
Hey, but you know
You were
what?
there. You
You're
got
part of
there.
a very elite group. I mean, what, 90 people in Canada? 90 people. That's all that can
yeah,
claim that they've been on Great Canadian Baking Show. And you're one of those 90 people. That is an like massive accomplishment in itself, just making
yeah,
it into that tent. So
yeah. I
yeah.
think you're right. It hasn't totally sunk in yet. I think I'll need to process when it's all over. But I think of any show out there, baking, cooking, any other kind of show that's in this nature of a competitive, this by far just surpasses them all in the classiness and quality of it in my brain, in my
Yes,
mind. And
I think we
I've
agree with
heard,
you.
yeah, I've heard a few people talk about some of the other ones, and they've had some negative experiences, and this one was just positive all the way.
Yeah.
So
It
great.
is a real magical place, it sounds like, in that tent.
It
You know,
really
all
is.
the people, the whole concept behind it, the camaraderie, the family
Mhm.
atmosphere, yeah, all the love
Yeah,
and the pure joy that comes from probably being part of the cast, as well as like from a viewer. Like you can just see
Mhm.
that it is such a wholesome, wonderful, inspiring, like all of the good stuff packaged up in one. It is truly a special thing.
Hmm.
yeah, you're very right. It really is.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right. Teaching young kids or mentoring new bakers.
Oh, I've done both, and I'm just starting some cooking classes with a friend's 14-year-old son here next week again. I've, oh my goodness.
We'd like to make it difficult for you.
You really do. You really do. Because that one-on-one and
We're
watching
three
them.
for three, Larry. Oh, sorry.
Oh my gosh, if I have to choose, I, I probably still teaching young kids. That's just a real joy for me. That's my love. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I really love working one-on-one and working with new bakers and seeing that excitement. And yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a hard one again.
Yep. Well, we
It's
never
not life or death, and we're
No.
not telling you that you have to choose forever. This
Okay.
is just hypothetical.
Yeah.
That's okay. And we love calling you Larry. So again,
I have not once
Larry
called you Larry. Just saying. It's
I
not
just say
hard.
it's a high compliment, but thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
it's the Alberta way. It's the Alberta. There, why choose? Why
Yeah,
choose?
that's
Yeah.
right. You can have it all.
All right. We'll see if we're 4 for 4 with this next one. Cake or pie?
Oh, pie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that
It
was
That
was
was an easy
easy.
easy.
one.
That was an easy one. Even though I went home on pie, I still love pie. And it's funny. I just bought a pie cookbook here just the other day. I came home with my husband and said, "What? Why'd you put that?" And I said, "I am going to conquer this. I am going to work on pies." Now it's just, I can't believe that was the one thing that I bombed on so badly. So,
A
and
personal vendetta.
yeah, I'm going to try new different methods and different pies. Yeah, it's my project.
Yeah.
Have you baked a pie then since the
Yeah,
tent?
I've got, a couple of pies are sitting on the counter right now. My husband
Nice.
eats them for breakfast a lot, so yeah, I've
Oh, I
baked them a
like
few times.
that. Breakfast pie.
It's fruit.
Yes.
And I had a crumble crust or like an oatmeal, like a crisp crust.
Mm.
This is
So it's
kind of
like
like
having
granola.
porridge or
Yeah.
granola. Yeah, yeah. I think it's totally legitimate for
Yeah.
breakfast.
And if you
I-
top it with some whipped cream, there's the dairy.
Absolutely. Ice cream would work too.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds
Custard.
perfect.
Yeah.
A well-balanced meal.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yes. And then you've got your carbohydrates with the crust.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, come
All
on.
there.
What else?
Yeah.
An
Yeah.
egg yolk in the crust would, there you got your
There
breakfast
you get
eggs.
your protein. It's
Protein.
fantastic.
Yeah. Or
Wonderful.
add a few nuts, little nuts
For
to the
sure.
crumble on top. Yes. Balanced breakfast. Okay.
Yeah, we
We're
won't
fully
talk about the
endorsing.
sugar.
You can use non-refined, unrefined sugars.
Sugar.
Maple
Coconut
syrup,
sugar or something like
coconut
that. But now we're
sugar,
just getting
honey.
silly.
Are we? No, I think we're finding a new
Dietitians in the making. Yes,
breakfast pie is a thing. We're starting the trend here.
I think so.
I'm down, definitely.
There you go.
All right, next question. Signature, technical, or showstopper?
I said technical in my application, but I think I've changed it to showstopper. Just a
I
lot
can
of
imagine
fun.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
You could be so
planning and
creative.
yeah.
you can be totally creative, and you do have more time, even though
Mhm.
relatively it's just as tight.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of fun to be creative, and that's something I don't do that kind of baking normally. So it really, pushes me outside of my comfort zone and allows that artistic side, that's in there to come out in baking.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Beautiful.
it's kind of
And you,
fun to just kind of go crazy.
yeah, and you said your favorite one was your mask, which was
Yeah.
again so spectacular. It's
I,
so
I
creative.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah.
had so much fun just coming up with the little elements, and making him look, ugly and spooky, but still kind of a little bit debonair, not too creepy.
Yeah.
So
No, very love. I think he was, yeah, that was the perfect mix because he did have that kind of scary dark side, but in a very friendly, approachable way, if that makes
with
sense.
his bow tie,
Oh,
a
yes.
polka dot tie.
Oh,
Yes.
A little
And
bit
didn't Anne say that he reminded her of one of
boyfriend.
someone she dated?
Yes.
I wonder if he had the same problem as your mask. Anyway,
Oh,
sorry,
know-
I couldn't help it.
Fine, just
you chose not to.
sit over there.
I'm sorry. I
Well
apologize.
played. Well played. Well played.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe he also had, like his chin falling down or whatever.
There we go. That's what it
Yeah,
was. Yes.
yeah. A weak chin, I guess we'd
A
say.
weak
Oh,
chin.
yes,
Right.
that must be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's hilarious. Alrighty. Um,
I think I know
Carnival.
the answer to this one now.
Yeah, I know, same here. But you never know. So they had these were both new weeks. We'd never seen these before. Carnival Week or Maple Week. Which one were you most excited for when you saw the original briefs?
Carnival Week for sure. All of us were so freaked out with that brunch. Like, I shouldn't say all of us, but I think most of us anyways. Maybe there was some, I think Dom probably wasn't because he did it so well, but it was so many bakes that we had to get done. There was so many elements to stay on top of in that one because each bake had so many elements that all of us were just, stressing out as each week got closer to that. Like, oh my gosh, my brunch! I'm so worried about my brunch. Are we going to get it all together? That felt like a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't
And
look it like
timing.
but the timing, yeah, and all the, making your own puff pastry and, just, and making, another separate pastry again, and just all of that in between.
Yeah.
Did you do a full puff for that one?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
That's a lot
Yeah.
to do. And yeah,
It
impressive.
is.
exactly.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Just all the little elements. And actually, my puff pastry worked out well. I was happy with it. And I usually am very successful with that. I don't have problems with that. And my apple pastries, they didn't turn out as well as they did at home in my practices. I think they were maybe a little underbaked, but it was my French toast, baked French toast. I shouldn't have called it that. I should have called it bread pudding or something, because they, it didn't fit the label of what it was.
Right.
And that one took longer because I had to bake the bread and then bake it again. And so it
Oh,
was,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a lot.
yeah, but
But you all got through.
Very
we
ambitious.
I'm going to say you all got through Maple
survived.
Week. Didn't all get through Maple Week, but
No, but we all got something done. We all got our 3 bakes
yes,
done. So
but all
Yes.
got done.
yeah,
And it
Yeah.
was very impressive.
It was, both of those weeks were incredibly tasty
Mhm.
and
yeah,
just beautiful to watch. It was a lot of fun. So I hope that they'll bring them back.
Did
yeah.
you taste the maple mousse tart? And now I'm curious about.
Oh, did not
Mhm.
taste it. Have
All
no
right.
idea what it tasted like. And I never even tasted the elements. And I saw later everybody was tasting elements, and I thought, oh, they're watching me on camera. I don't dare taste it. At home, I always taste. I thought I don't dare taste anything in case they think it's unsanitary. And then I realized
Right.
I should have been tasting. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
thought it was good, but apparently not everybody has loved it. So,
okay. It was probably
but
pretty sweet, I would
Yeah,
guess.
that's what I'm thinking too.
yeah,
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 it felt
definitely.
like it would be very sweet with that thick layer of fudge in there.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Gluten-free adapted German recipe or a classic family German recipe?
Oh, classic family German recipe.
If
I'm
we don't
working
have to
on,
go gluten-free.
you don't have to. I mean, it is harder work. I've gotten some that are really close and some that are really great, actually. I just have been working on a German Christmas cookie recipe here, and and I put a lot of marzipan and nuts and things in there. So now what I've done is I've wrapped these rolls that you're supposed to slice into cookies. I've wrapped them in cheesecloth and I'm dousing them in rum, and I'm hoping that if I give them a few weeks of that, maybe the texture won't be as mealy, but it's not a good enough one that I would do it again. So I'd have to make it again. And yeah, it's usually a lot of iterations of a recipe before I get it where I'm happy with it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean, it feels great when I've got it there, but
takes a while.
it's more fun to bake non-gluten free.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with you on that.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Dragon boating or baking?
Oh, you can't make me choose those. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't.
We can, and we just did, Margaret. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Reminder, you're not actually choosing.
Yes.
No, that's right.
But if you had to give one of them up,
Oh my gosh.
oh, I know. Even
Oh.
saying it is like it
It's like
hurts.
giving up a
Yeah.
child. Like you can't choose. It's Sophie's choice.
Yes.
Oh, I've done 4 years of dragon boating, but I grew up around boats. And it's when I discovered dragon boating, it was like I'd found some kind of regrounding, to my childhood. My dad built boats and he was a fisherman on Vancouver Island for about 8 years. And, I just grew up around them. And my husband is not a boat person. He doesn't swim. So haven't had a chance. So when I found that it became a real passion. But baking is what grounds me when I'm stressed, or, it's been part of my life ever since I've been young.
Mhm.
They're so different. Oh my gosh, I think I might have to pull a Larry on this
That's
one.
okay.
I
That
think you
is-
do need to.
Yeah,
I think you
that's
might
totally understandable.
have a myocardial infarction if you keep trying to decide.
Well,
It's all okay. It's all okay. But we can see the love and passion you have for both of those things that are so important to you. And
Yeah.
it's wonderful to have those activities where, again, like you said, they're so different from one another, right?
Yes,
Yeah. And
they
so
really
it's,
are.
yeah,
And balance is necessary.
totally.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one is outdoor, one's indoor. They're, well, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Unless you're
accept your
baking in a
answer.
tent, so technically you can bake outside.
You did hit the nail on the head. And my dragon boat team is trying to figure out a way we could somehow combine dragon boating and baking. Like, what if we did lessons on the boat, maybe? Or you know, okay,
Oh,
well, we have to give that a lot of thought.
no kidding. Well, they do. KitchenAid actually has a new line of like battery operated or like portable appliances. So it is
Okay.
definitely doable, just so you
And
know.
the drummer sitting at the front, instead of drumming, they could just be whisking, you know,
Yes.
vigorously in time. We could figure out a way to do this.
Whisking very loudly.
That's right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you would definitely be in your element there. And
It would be fun.
if you could combine them,
Combine
yes.
those two passions. Yes.
All right. Puff pastry. Make it or buy it?
Make it. I actually love making puff pastry. It's very satisfying.
Must be, yes.
Yeah. Just, you know, it's kind of therapeutic to do the layers and then like once you use it, and I think it is better than the button
Yeah.
when you've made it well, it works so
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
for
I
sure.
enjoy making it. And I've only been really making it the last few years, you know, more often. And I pretty regularly have a chunk of it in the freezer because I'll make a bigger batch of it. But in the years when my kids were growing up, I bought it. I just never thought twice about buying it. That was not
Mhm.
something I had the time for. And since I've started to take the time, it's like, wow, I could have been making this with kids. Why wasn't I?
Yeah. Now, did you develop a gluten-free version of the puff pastry as well?
No, I
No.
have not yet.
Hard.
Okay.
I have tried it
Yeah.
and it didn't turn out greatly. It was okay. So I do need to work on that and see if I can try a better one. I tried beef Wellington making my own puff pastry with it. And yeah, need to work on that one a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I couldn't, that's true. The last, you know, since my daughter was diagnosed for the last like 10 or 15 years, I couldn't have made the regular pastry. So it wasn't only till after they left home that I
Right.
started playing around with that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
Deeply satisfying when you see it come out flaky and
Isn't it? Oh, the crunch of it. Oh, it really
Oh,
is. And seeing all the layers, it really is great. And when you
yeah.
make a big batch while you're at it. And it's so handy to have it in the freezer and pull it
right.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. So true. So
Yeah.
cool. All right. That brings us to our last this or that. This is probably one of the more contentious ones that we have around here on Baking Scraps. And you've already
We
answered this
stole it.
question. Yeah. You've already answered the question on the show for Great Canadian Baking Show.
Oh,
And it's about butter tarts.
yes.
Raisins or no raisins?
Well, in there you've heard my answer before. It's currants for me
Yeah.
because that's what my mom put in growing up. And you know, she was a new immigrant, and I remember like that was a big thing down in southern Alberta. The women were always, you know, she was learning all this Canadian baking from the neighbor women, and you know, recipes were being passed around, and you know, Sunday school at church or whatever. And butter tarts was one of the things that she learned to make. And so as a teenager, probably from about age 10 on, we did have butter tarts a lot, and she made them often. And yeah, I just found her recipe handwritten. She's 88 and still, you know, still here. It's baking still, but doesn't
That's
bake
wonderful.
things like that anymore. But I found her recipe actually in my aunt's book, and so I'm going to try and make them according. It was a very simple recipe, and it worked. And yeah, it always had currants in it. I don't know why, but
Right.
Yeah, that's how
that's
I
nice.
make mine with currants.
Oh,
Actually, that's our family recipe too. Is with currants.
very cool. Yeah, there's something special about that, isn't
I
it?
agree. I
She
like
does not like raisins.
no, not in so definitely not in butter tarts. It just they're too sweet and there's too much texture to them.
Yeah, as a child, I hated raisins. I did not like them. Now I really enjoy them. I love them. But in butter tarts, yeah, the currants have their own small little keep their
Yeah,
texture nice and have a little bit more structure to them, and they're
yeah,
not just kind of blending into the. I agree.
yeah, yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the best. That's the way they all should
I
be.
agree. I agree. I agree. See,
Yeah,
Lisa,
You're bonding.
that's right. Yeah, over
Yeah.
butter tarts, the best thing to bond over.
right? Or baking
Mhm.
in general. I mean, how
Yeah.
can you not have fun having conversations about
Oh,
baking and different things, how to, different techniques and the sharing of
Yeah.
ideas, the sharing of tips and tricks,
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
so cross-cultural and cross-generational and
Mhm.
cross-time, like centuries. Like, I mean, baking has been around as soon as there was fire,
Yeah.
and every culture has their sharing of recipes, and it's always a positive thing, right? It's always a life-sustaining thing and a pleasure thing and a celebratory thing. So it's
Yeah.
fun to share. Yeah, yeah,
It
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah.
Well, we
totally.
hope you have had fun chatting with us today.
It's been fun. I've
We've
enjoyed
had a
it
lot of
very
fun.
much.
Good.
Oh,
I'm so
What a
glad.
wonderful start to the day. Thank you.
oh, thank
Yes, for
you
us
for,
also. I
yes.
didn't put any makeup on this morning. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna have my coffee and then I'm gonna go have a chat with some baking ladies. That
Let's
sounds
talk
fun.
This is
baking.
awesome. Yeah, how lucky are we? Like
Yeah,
seriously, Lisa and I
yeah,
pinch
no,
ourselves when we have the pleasure of speaking to wonderful people like you, Margaret. And so thank you very much for joining us. It's been such an honor and privilege to have you on the show this morning.
it's been an
Excited.
honor and a pleasure for me to talk to you too. It's just so great. Thank you.
And
And
congratulations. Oh, sorry.
before we let you go, do you have a baking scrap for us, which is a tip or a trick
Oh,
for people who um, might be new to baking or something that even people who've been doing it for a while might be surprised to learn?
you're surprised. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Um, well, I get maybe it's from being a big family, and I think it's something I've mentioned a few times here. I guess it would be to use my freezer. Um, that's what I do a lot as a time saver. I freeze bits of dough. Every time I make a pie, I always double the recipe and make 2 discs of dough and freeze one, like wrap it in saran wrap and plastic. And it's so nice to have a disc of pastry if I need to make a quiche for supper quick for just leftovers with eggs, or a sweet pie for dessert, or and yeah, bits and pieces, scraps of things that I bake a lot with marzipan, especially at this time of year, and so I've got lots of that in the freezer in bits and pieces. And leftover frostings, I will freeze them. Leftover fillings, I tend to use my freezer a lot, so maybe that would be my
That's a
my
great
bit of
tip.
advice
That
for
is
people.
awesome. And then,
Mhm.
like you said, it's so quick and easy to put something together. Go into your freezer and go, okay, I've got this and I've got that and I've got this. I can whip up this. And then you've got something
Yeah,
so special and wonderful from all
yeah.
the bits and bobs that are in your freezer.
Bits of a puff pastry, and I've got some apple paste I've made, and I can pull it out and make some apple turnovers or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, anything like that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
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 and be very
fantastic.
impressive to your guests and your family.
Like, yeah, we're just coming by for a coffee, and Margaret whips up this beautiful spread of
A
goodies.
brunch.
Yeah,
A maple brunch
maple brunch.
with all
Yes.
the trimmings. Sure.
Surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
yeah.
Well, congratulations again on such a beautiful season of baking on Great Canadian Baking Show. Like I said before, you were such a joy to watch. But before we leave you as well, like, is there one word that you would use to describe your experience on Great Canadian Baking Show?
I guess joyful. It really was joyful. It was. There was stress, but overall there was a lot of joy there, and that was really really fulfilling and life affirming. It gave me a lot of confidence again in myself.
Oh,
So that was really great.
oh, that's so fantastic. And you could see that joy and that passion all over your face again when you were in the tent. And again this morning, as we're chatting with you, you can just see how happy baking makes you and dragon boating makes you as
That's
well.
right.
So,
And you do not have to choose.
no,
Thank you.
no,
Thank you.
ever,
I
ever.
got both babies there.
Yes, you keep your babies, Sophie. It's all good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we're not going to see you in the tent for the finale bakes, but we will see your beautiful face as part of the finale. I
Aw,
hope. I'm
yes,
assuming you were there,
I
so
was
we look
there.
forward to seeing you on the last episode of season 9, which airs on a Sunday.
The
That's right.
23rd.
Yes. Yeah. And my mom flew out, and my husband flew out with me too. So that was
Oh,
Oh,
how
how
nice.
great.
wonderful!
Yeah. Yeah. It
Very,
was
very
good.
cool.
I look
Yeah,
forward
she's
to
quite
that.
thrilled at 88 to be on TV. So
Oh, yes. Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
That is
can't
so
wait.
cool. Well, I look forward to seeing your mom on TV and your husband
Yes.
lovely. Thank you.
Yes.
and you as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Margaret. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.
You too, both of you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It's
We'll
Thank
really
talk to you
you.
soon.
bye.
Bye, Margaret.
Okay, that was so fun.
Oh, what a lovely human being.
It was such a great start to my day.
Right?
I
You
literally
know,
didn't want to stop talking with her.
I know. Just so warm, friendly. I mean, what can you say about Margaret? Just a joy,
Mhm.
joyful.
Joyful.
Just like
That's coming up a lot.
the word she used to describe how she summed up her time in the tent.
Hmm. Yeah, I love it. I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah.
And now we move on to our last week and
Can you believe
finale
it?
coming up. Yeah.
Sunday? I
Okay.
cannot believe what a quick season it has been again.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been. It's crazy. And we're going to talk with Jennifer.
Jennifer next.
So please
Yes.
stay tuned for that. And everybody,
Yes.
thank you for joining us. And we will talk to you again soon. Happy baking.
Happy baking, everyone.